Alright, in this video I'm going to do a close-up tour of all the parts in Magneato and how they work together. First up, of course, the frame, the armor, the weapon, whole outside of the robot that everybody normally sees. The top plates are 1/8 inch aluminum. I have a rubber mounted, you can see the little rubber stoppers here, rubber mounted 1/8 inch aluminum plate on top of the battery. Because if I take this plate off, you can see that the battery is pretty close to the top, and I don't want hammer and saw guys to damage it. Also on this side, I have a Bainbots P60 25:1 gearbox with a 2.875 inch wheel and an RS550 motor. I also have a Team Waiachi MS05 power switch down here, and the battery connector goes between the power switch and the weapon. I've shown in previous videos how the latching mechanism works, but I have a little door latch style mechanism here that captures the clutch. On the weapon itself, I have what I'm calling the rear bar, which has the rope attached to it, and it sits on a needle roller bearing on the flywheel shaft. The flywheel shaft itself rotates freely within a needle roller bearing in the mount too. And then I have what I call the front bars, which are very large 3/8 aluminum plates right now. I may replace them with 1/4 inch plates at some point. All of the shafts are 1/2 inch grade 5 titanium. This one used to be 3/8 steel, but I bent it, so I switched it to 1/2 inch titanium also. The weapon rails are 1/4 inch 7075 aluminum, and I have 1032 screws with big plastic standoffs holding it together all the way across. The front of the flipper arm is 1/4 inch titanium. I started with 1/4 inch aluminum, but I kept bending it. This is what Waiachi had on hand when I asked him to make it, so 1/4 inch titanium flipping arm. Nice big long reach. On the other side, you can see I have shaft collars on all those same shafts. Same exact front bar setup, weapon rail. I have the rear bar, also 1/2 inch titanium, with a matching rope on this side. The rope goes between the rear bar and the coil drum, which is down in here, and difficult to reach in this robot. The rope coils underneath the coil drum and is hopefully protected from saws and hammer guys a little better in this robot than it has been in previous ones. On the other side of the robot, I have regular 1/8 inch aluminum top plate plus another 1/8 inch aluminum set of guards for hammer and saw guys to keep them away from. 15mm wide weapon belt, that's a 5mm HTD pitch. A BP Hobbies 4120/7 Outrunner brushless motor. I'm getting a little more than 2 horsepower out of. Phoenix ICE 100 brushless speed controller with data logging. BR 6000 receiver. It's a little bit of a classic now, but that's what I have. Matching drive motor, just like the other side, 25:1 ratio, RS550 motor. Bainbots P60 gearbox with Bainbots 2.875 inch wheels. I also have a custom-made Arduino Nano mounted to a, well, the Nano is purchased, but mounted to a custom-made PC board with its own set of circuits. It has outputs for both of the trigger servos on both sides, plus the throttle. And there's an auxiliary output that I'm not using in this version that used to run electromagnets. It also has inputs for the regular throttle and the flip input that come from the receiver. You can see I have labels on each of those. Other than that, I'm hoping that it's going to launch the other robots with its ridiculous arm reach. I don't know if I can even get in the frame here. It's like more than 18 inches. I had to add a little spacer here to make it so the robot wobbles a little bit so that the wheels stay on the ground well. And I had to make these rubber stoppers bigger because I kept destroying the old ones that I had mounted in their place. Flipper's pretty powerful. There you have it. Magneto, ready for Motorama 2014.